Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Apex Racing TV. You join us here this evening for the iRacing Le Mans series, being broadcasted to you live from Silverstone. My name is Ryan Walker, and alongside me is Marco Babanero on the cameras. And Marco, I have to say, it's a pleasure commentating with you again. Unfortunately, Joseph can't make it tonight, but as always, when you asked me this afternoon to step in and see if I would be able to help out, I was more than happy to.
Oh yeah, hello everyone, hello Ryan. It's a pleasure to have you here and a pleasure to have all of you watching tonight the iRacing Le Mans series. Before we start, let me thank all of you who watched last week's broadcast, who was our, on Apex Racing TV at least, the most watched broadcast of the last 365 days. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure to bring you that Monza race, and hopefully this Silverstone race is as exciting as that one. We have a lot of drivers in all the three classes, and this promises to be a very interesting race, Ryan, especially considering that this track is a track where the traffic can be an issue.
Yeah, absolutely. Silverstone, it's as we know, it's famous for hosting the Real Life World Endurance Championship Series, especially with the P1s, the P2s, and the GT cars. And yeah, Silverstone as well. It's notoriously hard for cars being lapped, or cars lapping other cars, especially the P1 cars and the P2 cars lapping the GTs. It's especially difficult around here. So I think this evening it's going to require a bit of cooperation between all the classes, and I think tonight this race is going to be about not always about being quick, but also who's going to be able to manage the traffic, and also who's going to get the luck in the traffic.
Absolutely, as we are seeing, the qualifying is halfway through, a little bit more than that. Alexi Laine, the driver from Finland, getting into 4th place. Some drivers also coming on the start-finish line in the LMP2 class. This is Teemu Toika. He's sitting in P3. Does he improve his time? He does, but he will still be in P2. And also we have the GTs coming for their lap. This is Aldo Massa, sitting in 4th place right now with his unmistakable Jim Williams livery, which I absolutely like it, with nice contrasting colors. He's taking it, I think, a bit easier. He wants to do another lap, I imagine. Carlo Eusebi, also a quick driver, who still has to set a fast lap, and here he is coming through the start-finish line in his LMP1 Leo Racing car. And where will he slot? In P6 right now. All happening, Ryan. We see also Matteo Golotti launching himself, I'd imagine, with his BMW. I mean, there are many drivers out there. Mitchell Moore right now is the pole sitter in LMP1. Carl Jansson is a pole sitter in LMP2, and Florian Denard pole sitter in the GTE class. So lots of drivers on the racetrack right now, and of course GT getting the biggest field as per usual. We also have Ricardo Orozco signed up for this race. He's having some connection issues. Hopefully we'll be able to set a lap time. Actually, I raced against him in a race earlier today, and he won it by a comfortable margin. But I think that tonight he will have a bigger challenge, because the strength of field is very high, and there are many drivers that are capable of taking the victory.
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned the strength of field as well, I was just wondering if we'd be able to get that up in the broadcast just to give us an idea of what the strength of field is for each class. As yeah, we always know that these strength of field races, you get really great drivers in each class, and as you can see at the top of the screen, that there is a strength of field for each class. 4.5k in LMP1, that is absolutely unreal. 4.9k in LMP2, it's even more crazy. And as you can see in GTE, 4.2k I rating for the GT class. So yeah, absolutely, it just proves that the quality of the drivers in each class is just absolutely fantastic, and it's why I love commentating on this series whenever I get a chance. And I think in every class, Marco, it's going to be close. I think, and I think just looking at the times at the moment, it backs up.
Absolutely, as we are getting ready to show you the starting grid, as the drivers don't have any more time available. session will switch over right now, so that is that for qualifying, and I think that we can go through the starting grid right now.
Absolutely, the grid's up on your screen right now. So taking the pole position in LMP1 is Tom Mitchellmore, or Mitchellmore, I should say. Apologies for that. Second place is Ashley Owen, alongside him, and third is Tim Grieven. Fourth is Alexi Lane. Fifth is Ricardo Orozco. Sixth place is Nicholas Snyder. Seventh place is Carlo Ashubi. Eighth place is Antoine Cousin. Ninth place is Dylan Mant. Rounding out the top 10 in LMP1 is Fabian Van Doren. And rounding out the grid in LMP1 is Mark Harrison in 11th place.
And in the LMP2 field, Tyler Ervias is in pole position. Then we have Carl Jansson, Johan Hart, Jan Schwitter, Fraser Williamson, Teemu Toika, Timo Aiden, Matthias Magnusson, and Gabriel Ross. Whilst in the GT field, pole position for Florian Denard, then Matteo Golotti for Apex Racing Team, Brian Lockwood, Aldo Massa. Then we have Kyle Dunlop, Lorenz de Rijk, Jackie Lotterman, Alexander Smoliar, Fabian Klockner, Timo Görlich, PJ Claesens, Pavel Kovalik, Dennis Neidhart, Alexander Lauritsen, Sebas Villa, Marcel Jochheim in P36 overall, Andy Pers, Marcus Deck, and rounding up the field is Milan Arnocci in P39. And of course, let's get ready for a nice pace lap. The entire pace lap is scheduled to be taken in this race here because one of the older scans of iRacing, and so we will enjoy, I think, this extremely long field of cars, 39 of them, like I just said, running around Silverstone before the green flag drops and we get set for the race. The new iRacing pace car, the Porsche 911 there. And I think, Ryan, we are ready to roll.
Yeah, absolutely. I just have to say, looking at the quality of the drivers throughout the field, I think we're going to be in for a fantastic race as the field sets off on the rolling lap. And also, I just want to give a quick shout out as well in the LMP2 class to Timo Hayden. If you haven't heard, they've he races for Impulse Racing and they have their own Twitch channel. So yeah, give Timo and that team a like on Twitch and give them a follow and watch Timo's onboard from this race if you haven't watched his channel before.
As the cars are rolling, and you can see the LMP2 field already taking a little bit of a gap. Nice when we have this big LMP1 field. A big miss tonight is the PRT guys, the Pure Racing Team guys, Patrick Wolf and Dominic Ferber not showing up, which is a bit disappointing, but I think they will be back. I know Patrick and Dominic, and I will have a talk with them later. Because I don't know what they are up to tonight. But certainly not racing, but of course this open, it's still a fantastic field, and this open of course the door for a new winner in the LMP1 field. And of course Tom Mitchellmore won last week in his Audi, and today, if I'm not mistaken, he is back in a Porsche. Matter of fact, all Porsches in the LMP1 field today.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned it. You mentioned that Patrick Wolf's not here tonight, or there's some names other names I don't see around tonight as well. But there's also got to remember as well that the Neo Endurance Series 24 Hours of Le Mans took place at the weekend. So maybe some people are just fancying taking a break this week and just kind of recharging their batteries, or just fancy a rest. And because 24-hour races, they can be demanding, as I try and get my words out. They can be demanding, and sometimes even myself, I need a couple of days just to rest and recharge my batteries and then get back into it.
Absolutely, and you are absolutely right. 24-hour race. For some of them, was the second 24-hour of Le Mans in the span of a month or so, because also there was another one for the ICEA Racing Championship a few weeks earlier than that. But still a very nice, super competitive LMP1 field. We saw that with the big strength of field numbers as the pace lap is about to end. Tom Mitchellmore for Team Bushfink Racing is your pole sitter, and one thing I noticed is that the track is not very long, so in around 3 to 4 laps, 5 laps at the most, the LMP1 leaders will be on the back of the GT field, so lapping will start straight away.
Yeah, absolutely. As the field's just coming round the final few corners, and yeah, I think any predictions who you think might win tonight in all three classes, Marco?
I'm going with Ashley Owen for tonight in the LMP1, Jansson in P2 and Ugolotti in GT.
I have to say I'm going to go for Ashley Owen in P1, Janssen P2, and GTE. I'm going to. No, it's hard to call, but I'm going to go for Jackie Lotteman. As away we go for Mitchell Moore gets a great start on in second, and Tim Grieve in third. And looking back at the P2 field, they're managed to make it through the field. Or make it through turn one, I should say. As yeah, they managed to make it through, and the GT cars are coming into turn one, and no issues so far at the moment, but it's still relatively bunched up.
Yes, always a tricky moment at one of the starters. We have side by side there between Lockwood and Ugolotti for second and third place. A little bit of contact there. I think that this is not going to be resolved until we get to the hard braking zone. Aldo Massa also fancying his chances there as they go 3 wide almost. They are 3 wide as they brake very hard. Ugolotti seems to have the upper end at the moment, but Lockwood has a better exit. Aldo Massa disappearing and reappearing, that has to be very, very distracting. And then Lockwood goes a little bit wide there. Maybe even some net lag contact with Ugolotti. And, well, still side by side now with Jackie Lotterman. So, I mean, all happening in the GT field. It's tough to move the cameras away from this battle here. And Florian Denard in all of this is your GT leader. So, good start for him.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys battling behind him is allowed Florian to slowly creep away and build up a bit of a gap in the GT class. But while we're on board with Massa at the moment, and just in front of him is Ugolotti. Yeah, it's just proven again, Marco, that this GT class it's no matter what car you're in, it seems to be great racing throughout the field, and it seems to be really close no matter what.
Absolutely. So here we go, first lap in the books. Let's switch to this battle here. We have Riccardo Rosco, Nicolas Schneider and Carlo Eusebi all fighting for 5th place in the LMP1 class.
There's a battle going on behind them. There was a couple of cars trying to go side by side, headed into the corner. I'm trying to find out who that was. It could have been, I think it could have been a Shuby and Kuzo. Nicolas Schneider, or I'm not sure, Marco. I'm just everywhere I look. It's so close, so I can't keep my eyes peeled.
Yeah, let's bring up the battle box so we have a better idea. Dylan Mann, winner last season in the SOF race at Spa, on the inside of Van Doren. Maybe some contact there. They both go wide, still side by side. And of course, we know how sensitive these cars are to damage, so you want to avoid contact as much as possible. In the end, Mann P9, Harrison P10, and but Mann needs to some contact there again. I think Dylan Mann was out of boost, of maybe a little bit of a slowdown. You cannot cut that final corner. There are some little poles there on the inside, and if you go over those, you get a slowdown. And you know, in the first couple of laps, slowdown are not good for you.
Yeah, absolutely not. As we look back at the GT class, and we're on board with Kowalik at the moment. Just in front of him is Jackie Lotterman. As we look at the P2 class as well, and they're currently looking at Fraser Williamson at the moment. Just in front of Williamson is Apex Racing Team driver Johan Harf, but he's under pressure from Fraser Williamson, and Williamson might try and make a move as they head down the. Williamson up the inside, and he moves up into P3.
That's a great move from Fraser Williamson, but will Hart respond? He's fancying his chances, but he's staying put for the moment. And at the front of the LMP2 field, it's very close between Hervias and Carl Jansson, pro driver for Core.
Absolutely. Yeah, also, Carl Janssen, he took the win in the World GT Championship at Daytona International Speedway in the 2 hour endurance race, and he managed to just take the win from Josh Thompson at the line. And yeah, I have to say that was that race on the last lap of Daytona. Carl Janssen executed that move perfectly. As we look at the Dylan Mann, who is in the pits with damage, I believe.
Yeah, damage from that contact, I believe. So that's of course not ideal, because you can't go home from this position. He will have to pit again. So, and of course having some damage to his car, which is not ideal with the LMP1. Not with any car, it's not ideal, of course, but with LMP1, it's a big problem. These cars are so aero-dependent. Teemu Toika here fighting with Jan Schwitter for P5 in class.
Absolutely.
While, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Marco.
Oh, the battle for P1 continues in the LMP2 field.
Absolutely, as we watch Tyler Hervias battling with Carl Janssen for the lead, and yep, I think yeah, these two are quickly pulling away from the cars behind them and just basically leaving them for dust as Hervias gets a bit sketchy on the entry of the corner. And looking back at Carl Janssen, I think if Carl Janssen can stick with Hervias until the pit stops, I think Carl could possibly jump him.
Absolutely, absolutely, a possibility of an undercut of, sorry, more than a, of a strategy with fuel saving, of course, always a possibility. In a field this tight, 1 second less of pit stop time might be the difference between winning and finishing second. So we've seen it many times. Drivers maybe have the pace to get past an opponent, they decide to stay in the draft for as much as possible, and then get the fruit of their labor at the pit stop time. 1 second, half a second less, and you are in the lead. So, but of course, this is all true until we get to the when it's time to lap your opponents. As Carlo Eusebio gets past Niklas Schneider there. Let's see where Tom Mitchellmore is right now, and he's already going through the GTE field. I think we can get a track map on, and yeah, basically went already no, he's on the back of the GTE field right now, getting an off track there, and you can see the LMP2s are on their own right there on the right side of the track map, and then there's a long snake of cars from the lead of the GT field to the end of the LMP1 field.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at the gap, Tom Mitchellmore, sorry, to Ashley Owen in second place. The gap is around about 3.5 seconds. As we look back at the GT class, with the two leaders, Florian Denard and second place Matteo Ugolotti, and yeah, Ugolotti's got a run in Denard, and it's I think this is going to be a case of who's got more straight line speed, or who can. Ugolotti's trying to go around the outside. If he can hold the outside, he might have the inside line for the next corner.
I think he will, and he gets the race lead in GT. Nice move. So Ugolotti was fighting with Lockwood, and Massa was able to pull away from the two drivers now sitting in third and fourth place, and now he went past Denard and into first place. Another World Championship driver in GTE. We might have our first problem of the day. Yes, it's for Lorenz de Rijk, and he is off.
Just looking at a replay to see what happened, and it looks like just looking to see what happened. He might have got tapped by a P1 car, possibly, or the car behind him. Sorry.
Oh no! I think he wasn't expecting that LMP1 car to slow down that much, and he hit the brakes. And around he went. Don't think he hit the barrier. Sorry about that. Back to the lead of the LMP2 class.
Absolutely. It's still Tyler Hervias leading the P2 class, but Carl Janssen is not letting him get away by any means. Carl Janssen is managing to stick with him, but I think it could be a case of on the straight, or yeah, possibly looking at both cars that are on board. It looks like they might be, they might be using the same downforce configuration possibly.
Let's get on board with Carl Jansson and get an idea of the speed they are hitting. See all the gears he's going through right now on the front stretch. They get to the, I mean, Ryan, this section here is absolutely one of my favorite section of corners in the motorsport world. And so beautiful when you get it right, but so problematic when you get it wrong, because it can ruin your rhythm for the rest of the lap, certainly for the rest of this section.
Yeah, absolutely. That section that you go through, you have to, when you nail it, it's so rewarding. But if you mess up the line ever so slightly through one of the corners or a part of the section of those corners, it can put you off a little bit. We're still racing, and yeah, I'm not sure, Marco. What would you try and do if you're Tyler Hervius? Would you try and make a move and try and get by as quickly? Be more than happy to sit behind.
If I was Carl Jansson, I would stay behind. I mean, they are pulling away from the rest of the field. He's saving some fuel, so unless the LMP1 field now comes through and disrupt this battle and gives Jansson a chance to make the move, I think I would stay behind the race leader and save as much fuel as possible.
Yeah, I have to say, thinking about it, I would agree with you. I would do the same as well, and just fuel save a little bit as look back through at the GT class, and currently looking at his battle for a second place between Massa Denard and Lockwood. And I have to say, I've watched Brian Lockwood a few times in the ILMS series this season when I've had a chance, and he seems to be. Oh, I thought he was going to run into the back of Denard there. He seems to be one of those drivers that he seems to be kind of up there for, when he has the lock, Marco. But he seems to get caught up in incidents sometimes.
Yeah, I think so. But you know, right now he has a good chance of scoring some nice points, even at a win, possibly, because it's a long race and we are only 10 minutes in. We don't know what's going to happen at the front. Certainly, he has the pace to keep it close with the top guys. You know, so far he's having a nice race. Ugolotti won 42.3, 42.7 for Massa, 43.2, 43.1 for Denard and Lockwood. In the meantime, Carl Jansson is still very close to Hervius. I keep going back to this battle, but I don't think that Jansson will go for a move anytime soon, unless I'm very much mistaken.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've watched the car in the past sometimes, and he's one of those. He's a really quick driver. He seems to be one of those drivers that he likes to see how a race pans out, and kind of fight. He seems to race with a tactical brain, if that makes sense.
No, you absolutely make sense, and these are usually the drivers that really come out on top, because you can be the fastest driver out there if you don't drive with your head. Usually it's your speed can help you sometimes, but not all the time.
As Jansson gets another run on the Hervius, but he doesn't make a move. He's more than happy to sit behind him, and I think this is going to be the theme for most of the race with these two guys. Since they've managed to pull away from the cars behind, they're more than happy just to kind of just sit where they are. But looking back through the P2 field and looking back at Johan Harf, he's under pressure from Jan Switter, and just behind Switter is Timo Toika, and behind Timo Toika is Timo Hayden, who is currently in P7. I think Timo Hayden is one of those other people that he's not always quick, but he seems to slowly make progress through the field, and he's more than happy just to kind of sit back and see how the race pans out. As we look at the battle for P6 and GT, yeah, Jack Lotterman's up to P and battling Small Yard for P5, and I think GTE. It's always a case of because the pace is so close, Marco. It always seems to come down to whether someone will make a mistake, and that's your only chance to try and make it a position.
Absolutely. I mean, when you are in a race with drivers this quick and of this caliber, it's always hard to make up positions, and it's very easy to lose them, you know. And when you lose positions, Lotterman and Smoljar creating a mess for themselves, and all the other drivers have to take evasive action, and this will create, I think, another trouble spot in the next corner. As you can see, all the cars are bunched together now, and Smoljar has some issues. Does he have steering damage? Because he's losing a lot of time. He was very slow there.
Yeah,
set a replay of that.
I have to say, just looking back at a replay of what happened. Yeah, this one, sorry.
Sorry. Okay, here we go.
So small yards in front of Jackie Lotterman. Jackie Lotterman just he tries to sneak up the inside. I don't think it was meant by Jackie to half spin him, but I think Jackie was just on the power slightly earlier and just made a slight bit of contact.
Poor Alexander Smoljar, not his best two corners. He got hit twice. And let's see if he heads for the pit or he stays out. No, he stays out, but that is less than ideal. Two hits on his car. Oh, we have an issue. A big issue for Fraser Williamson. He was sitting in third in the LMP2 field, and now he's dropping down very quickly down to P6.
Yeah, just looking at a replay to see what happened. I wonder if he's coming through the S's section. I wonder if he tries to go around the GT car. Nah.
Oh!
Oh no!
That was Tyler Erbias. That was the race leader.
Yeah, that was. I was about to say, Marco, that was the race leader. What happened to Tyler? So Fraser's coming around. He gets around the GT car, all right. Comes round the right-hander. Oh, and Tyler's just in the middle of the track. Oh, what? Oh, I'd be interested to see what happened to Tyler, just for him to be in the middle of the track.
Here we go.
So we're looking at Tyler. The car in front of him gets around the... Oh, he just...
Okay, that was Carl Jansson. So Carl Jansson went past him. He's trying to make up some ground there. And that is less than ideal. All happening, and both him and Williamson have towed back to the pits. And so we have a new leader in Carl Jansson. Yep. With Johan Hart second and Jan Schwitter in third. So everyone gets promoted 2 spots, which is absolutely crazy. So
Carl Janssen takes the lead of P2. Johan Hart is up into P2 in class. Jan Schwitter P3, Timo Teucher P4, and Timo Hayden is up into P5 in the class. So as you say, Marco, everyone gains a position, or as Matt Malone likes to call it, a freebie.
More than that, they get 2 positions for free.
Oh, 2 positions.
Because
even better.
And so now we focus on this battle here. Riccardo Rosco had issues in qualifying. He was only able to complete 1 lap because of connection issues, so he didn't have proper speed in order to get the best possible out of his qualifying session. Now he's up to P4. And he's trying to get past Tim Greven, who has a little bit of traffic to deal with. Just a bit of traffic, as you can see from this shot.
Absolutely. Oh,
Oh, here we go.
Hayden's had contact with a GT.
I think that
What?
was Sebas Villa. Yes, that was him. Let's get a replay of that.
Yeah, just looking at a replay to see what happened. So yeah, it's all kind of hectic here. Timo Hayden's on. Timo Hayden just tags a GT car in front of him and just spins a GT car, and then the GT car tags Timo Hayden into a spin, and yeah, so yeah, it's all kicking off, Marco, and it's we're only 20 minutes into this race.
Yes, I mean, that was a little bit surprising, or not. Look at this situation here. Look at all the cars.
Oh,
As
Jesus.
Orozco really needs to push hard if he doesn't want to keep, if he wants to keep in contact with Greven. And I mean, this is what I was talking about earlier in the opening, because around Silverstone the traffic is so important, traffic management especially. And when you find yourself in front, or in the middle, I should say, of a bunch of 10, 15 cars, and you are also in a battle for position, taking quick decisions and making those quick decisions also be good decisions can make the difference between winning and losing. And we've seen already a few drivers getting caught out by traffic management issues. And now Greven has pulled away 2.2 seconds in front of Ricardo Orozco. As now Ashley Owen all of a sudden under pressure from Team Greven as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This traffic, the GT traffic and T2 traffic, was it's kind of bunching these guys up, Marco. They seem to be losing time a little bit, and these P1 drivers are having to be careful. They can't afford to be too careful and lose too much time.
Yeah, now look at that. Alexi Laine has closed in on Orozco. Orozco really having to deal, him and all the drivers around him having to deal with a lot of traffic.
Whoa, right. Whoa, that was so close. Just watching this onboard with Lani as well, going around the outside of a GT car, and yeah, that I have to say that scared me a little bit.
We should get our resident Finnish, Sam Kumo, a guide on how to pronounce Finnish last names, because I'm sure I'm making a mess out of it.
Yeah, not very good at pronouncing Finnish names or some of the names on the field, but yeah, it's never been my strong point as we look back up at Stallone, but not far behind him Tim Greven, and yeah, it looks like Tom Mitchellmore is basically checked out up there, Marco, at the moment. He's got about a 12 second lead.
Absolutely, he's really pulling away 12 seconds, like you just said, and everyone behind him is in a fight as Johan Hart goes into the pits from P2 in the LMP2 field. And of course, being 12 seconds in front of everyone else, at least, being on his own, he can take his time or not make any rash decisions when he's trying to get past slower cars, whilst his opponents, of course, have to deal with traffic and deal with their opponents as well. So, also, I think Timo Hayden is in the pits, and
yep.
Carl Jansson is still your leader in the LMP2 field, and 10 seconds in front of Jan Schwitter, so he's checked out. Matteo Ugolotti is leader in GT with 2.2 seconds over Aldo Massa, who's dealing with hot traffic as well. And we have once again Jackie Lotterman on the prowl, trying to get by, I think, his teammate Timo Gorlich.
Yep, I was about to say the two. Oh, contact between the two teammates. Yeah, I was about to say, Jackie Lotterman and Timo in front of Jackie. They're both teammates in race for Geodesic Racing. So, yeah, I don't think these guys will want to take each other out or do anything too silly. But yeah, it looks like Jackie is getting a bit feisty.
And Paweł Kowalik from Poland has also joined this party. Sadly, I don't think there is any Ford in the field today. Otherwise, he would have had the full representation in the GT field. But there are lots of Porsches. Oh no! And he flips his teammate.
That was a bit silly.
And Gorlish is rolling on the front stretch. Hopefully, he escapes back to the pits quickly. And he does that. Oh, wow. Let's get his perspective from the onboard. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
That was
in a long time. Not only did flip and the fact that they are teammates, but for how long he rolled on his roof. All the way to the middle part of the front stretch.
I have to say that was a bit silly between the two teammates, but I think looking back at the replay, I would say you have to put the full blame on Jackie.
It's unbelievable for how, I mean, he got a nice push here when he was upside down from his teammate, but still, that was absolutely crazy. And luckily, everyone avoided the spinning BMW. So Jackie Lotterman is racking up quite the number of incident points, I'd imagine.
I think Jackie Lotterman's been listening to the song by Miley Cyrus, Wrecking Ball, too much.
And the chat is going bananas right now for that crash there. Ricardo.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah, see, I mean, that's you know, a part of the Le Mans series that I don't think will ever go away, because with all these cars on the track, something weird every time is bound to happen. But I mean, this is really pushing the boundaries of weird, because two teammates crashing with each other, one of them flipping and doing half of the front stretch on his lead. I mean, this is something you usually see on ovals, not on a road course.
Yeah, as I'm looking at some of the comments in the chat, and someone just put, what is it, typical geodesic driver. I shouldn't laugh, but that's too funny. As I look back up at the P1 field, and currently on board of Alexei Laney, I should say, currently sitting in P5, and just in front of him is Ricardo Orozco for. Does Ricardo Orozco race for Positive Sim Racing? I could be wrong.
Exactly, yes. Traffic in the S's here. You can see on the right side of your screen the weather right now. A lot of wind, 30 kilometers per hour. 22 degrees is the air temperature and 28 degrees the track temperature. And we have beautiful, beautiful clear skies here over Silverstone. So perfect weather for the race.
Absolutely, it's just looking at Alexei's windscreen as well. It's getting quite dirty as well. I noticed as well. So probably Ricardo in front of him's been kicking up a bit of dust. I would say. So yeah, I have to say, it's hectic at the moment in the early stages of the race, and yeah, everyone seems to have lost their marbles.
So far we have 4 drivers out of the race, Tyler Ervias, Fraser Williamson, Timo Gorlich and Dylan Mann. Even though, just to say this, I think maybe Ervias is coming out of the pits.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think...
oh yeah, he's out of the pits, but that car...
still got damage.
Damage is an euphemism. That car is missing some important pieces, I'd say.
I hope he's not going to do anything silly.
I don't know what is he up to, because I mean, the only driver behind him is Fraser Williamson, and he's in our chat, so I don't think he's coming out of the pits anytime soon, as Orozco and Eusebi are in the pits. But let's follow this Rogue LMP2. I mean, he must have some massive damage on his steering as well.
Yeah, there's no... well, looking at the car, I would say that's as the iRacing spot. I would say that car is toast.
Yeah, it really is.
As Harrison Finn says in the chat, looks good to me. I think what we would need to top that comment off Harrison is that meme that looks good to me meme.
Okay, now Ervias cuts the chicane. Be interesting to see, to understand his way of thinking here, why he's on the track after, with the car in this situation and with nothing to gain and everything to lose. As Team Greven goes in the pits, I promise we will go back to the fight at the front of the LMP1 field, but I absolutely want to see what's going on with Tyler Ervias. Is he going to pit or is he staying out?
No, he's staying out.
He's staying out, okay. We will keep an eye on him on the relative. So Greven is in from 3rd place. He was pushing hard to get past Ashley Owen, who doesn't have the pace to stay close to his teammate Tom Mitchellmore. He's not his teammate, of course, because Ashley Owen races for Trasmaster Mivano. Whoops.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was about to say as well. I believe that Ashley Owen races for Frostmaster Nirvana.
Yeah, Karl Jansson here getting through some traffic. I think the car in front of him, Mark Harrison, is 4th position at the moment.
Yeah, I believe so. Just looking at the gap between Janssen and Jan Switter, I think it's about 6.9 seconds as we look back at a replay of Tyler Hervias, or Hervias, I should say.
Who parks the car and tows back to the pits. So no damage done there. No pun intended. And Mitchellmore now, like I said, comfortably in the lead. Let's go back to the GT class for a moment, with Ugolotti pulling away now 5.6 seconds over Florian Denard. Brian Lockwood has been able to create some gap with Aldo Massa, who is here. As you can see, Jackie Lotterman in 5th. I think he should be a bit, on the danger side of the incident limit, considering what he had in the race. Let's see, Johan Hart already pitted, so let's get a quick roundup of the pit situation in the LMP2 field. Johan Hart and Tim Wyden already pitted, but Johan Hart, of course, I'd say could be in the hunt for the race win. Tim Wyden had big damage after that contact earlier with the GT car, so let's see how it goes. Johan Hart taking the very, very early pit stop. And in the LMP1, basically Greven, Orozco, Eusebi, Van Doren and Harrison already pitted. Mitchellmore, Owen, Line and Schneider still have to pit. And I think in the GT class, apart from Andy Pearce and Sebastian Villa, who had trouble with damage, no one else has pitted because it's too early for them.
Yeah, absolutely. As I just look at the GT leader at the moment, Matteo Ugolotti, and correct me if I'm wrong, Marco, didn't he used to race for your team, 1050?
Absolutely, and now he's racing for Apex Racing Team, so really I cannot get away from him. And Michele Ricci and Michele Costantini, which are bound to debut for Apex Racing Team this Saturday in the World Championship. And the GT World Championship, of course. Marcus Deck having some issues. Sitting in P9.
He's under pressure from Alexander Lauritsen, so yeah, he could be about to lose a position as they head down into turn 1. Lauritsen's got a run on him as they head down to turn 1. I thought Lauritsen was going to make a move, but he decides to tuck him behind.
Always sketchy there in the first corner, because it's not a very hard braking zone, so you might think you have, I think that is also Mitchellmore going past, you don't have to brake hard, so your brake point may vary, especially if you are in a battle and maybe all of a sudden you don't expect the car in front of you to brake as much as you are expecting, and then something happens. So let's see what happened to Marcus Deck, by the way, to find himself in this situation. So you see, he had a nice gap, and I think he went maybe wide here, and then he braked on the gravel, I'd imagine, and went for a ride into the gravel trap.
Yeah, it looks like just watching the replay, it looked like he might have caught his right rear wheel, might have caught the grass a little bit and just got sideways under braking. As we look at a replay of Alex Smolyar into turn one, I wonder what's going to happen. No, he just ran wide.
We say hello to Nico Weber, who just signed up, subscribed to the channel, so thank you very much, Nico. Let's give some love to the P2 guys, Gabriel Ross and Matthias Magnusson, fighting it out for P4.
Yep, I believe these two guys are teammates as well. I believe they race for Kinetic Racing, I think. Or I think they have raced together at least anyway in some endurance leagues anyway. So yeah, the two teammates are close together, and well, it's like Gabriel's giving him a bit of pressure at the moment as they're on board with Ashley Owen, who just laps two of them. As we're on board with Gabriel Ruse as well as they head through under the bridge, and right behind his teammate Matthias. Ooh!
Careful, guys.
Careful, guys! Don't do what don't do what the two geodesic racing drivers done in the GT class. That's otherwise you'll be having a "you've been framed" moment.
Oh, and they both go in for good measure. This is going to be a battle I want to follow through the entire pit stop. See who comes out. I would imagine they are on the same setup, and judging by when they pitted, also on the same strategy. So who is going to come out first of these two? You can follow their pit stop time on the bottom of your screen. On the left side you have the total pit lane time. In the middle, where the pit letters are now, you will have the total time in the pit stall, and it's a quicker stop and better exit altogether for Matthias Magnusson. In the meantime, Johan Hart gets past both of them and gets up to P4 in class.
Absolutely, as the two teammates leaving the pits in the P2 class, as you say, Marco, Johan Hart up into P4. As we look back in the GT field at the battle between Lauterman, Kowalik, and so yeah, these guys not separated. If I was Jackie Lauterman, I'm careful trying to make a move. And keep in mind the incident limit. He might be getting close to the incident limit. So if I was him, I would think about how I would try and make a move, or how I just think about my approach.
Meanwhile, Kari Jansson is in the pits, and Kovalik goes around. No, great save.
Well,
he loses one position, but better to lose one position than, to destroy your car. Kari Jansson then out and in and out, I'd say. Jan Schwitter following closely, and Johan Hart will be a distant third, virtually of course, because we still have to wait for Teemu Toika's pit stop, and I think he's the last guy in the P2 field to stop. Yes.
Yep, I think. Excuse me. Yeah, Teemu Toika is still the last person to pit, I think. So yeah, Teemu Toika is the leader, but he should come back out round about maybe P5, P6.
I think so, yeah. Meanwhile, the situation in the LMP1 class. Once again, the top 5 still have to pit. So Michel Moreau, Line, Schneider, and Cousin. Michel Moreau having a nice Sunday drive out there today, even though it's Wednesday. Really pulling away now, 18 seconds in front of the Mivano driver Ashley Owen. And here comes Ashley Owen in the pits.
Owen's in the pits. Just looking at Alexei as well. Start finish line as well to take P2, but I think Alexei still has the pit. Is right on board with Kleckner as well, and battling for P9 with Alexander Lauritsen as well, and yeah. Oh, yeah, it looks like Fabian's tried to go around the outside or tried to do a cutback, and he's right behind Alexander, and I thought he was going to try and make a move.
Maybe even a bit of contact there before they went into the braking zone. As I think we also have Kowalik getting some... Oh, Tim Greven! He had a problem.
Yeah.
Remember in the SOF race of week 12 last season he also had a problem. Crashed.
Yeah,
Let's see what happened here.
just look at the seat. Yeah, I was about to say, it looks like he had issues on the light. From what I see, they're like, oh, he just caught a curb and it made the car bounce.
I also went into the barriers there.
So, yeah, it looks like... Sorry, Marco.
Not a track that where he's particularly lucky, let's put it this way, because crash last season and crash this season in the SOF race on Wednesday. Alexi Line is in.
Yep, and I think Mitchellmore as well as went for another lap. So yeah, it looks like Tom's managing to stretch the fuel a little bit as we look at a replay, the 26 car of Powell Kowalik. I'm not sure what happened there.
I just went. I mean, I think he has some damage to his car due to the collision he had earlier with Jackie Lotterman. So maybe he's struggling to find back a nice rhythm. This battle here still going on. Lauritsen and Klockner, they managed to close the gap to Marcus Deck, Dennis Neidert and Powell Kowalik himself. So, meantime, Alexi Lainen went in and out of the pit lane, and this promotes Riccardo Rosco to P5. Tom Mitchellmore also is in from the race lead.
Yep, just I think Tom should be able to get in the pits and take fuel, and should be able to get back out the pits and still in the lead, I believe. Or he should, if he doesn't come back out in the lead, he should come back out in P2. But he should, if he does come back out in P2, he should retake that lead once Nicholas pits, I think.
Let's see if Schneider goes in. No, he stays. No, he goes in. So Mitchellmore will keep the race lead, and I think he's led every lap today, if I'm not mistaken. Both Schneider and Cousin are in, so Ashley Owens should go back to P2. But what I'm really interested in is Riccardo Rosco, because he had a very, very nice pace today, and despite his issues in qualifying, he finds himself on the podium. Because he will pass both Schneider and Cousin and up to P3.
Absolutely, Zebra. Just looking at it, yeah, I have to say I've been quite impressed by him, Marco. He's been having a good race so far. He's not got involved in any incidents that I'm aware of. He's kept out of trouble and just he's been having a nice clean race at the moment. As we ride on board with Alexander Lauritsen at the moment, just behind him is Kleckner as well in P9, and in front of Alexander is Marcus Deck in P7. So yeah, we've got a nice little freeway fight for P7 going on.
Yeah, we absolutely do. With just over 15 minutes left in this race. Or I should say to the end of the scheduled distance, then we will could have one more lap depending on where these guys stake the white flag.
Yeah, I think just looking throughout the field, Marco, it looks like the race has settled down now. Everyone's kind of just settled down and just started going around doing laps, and there's not as many incidents happening now like there was in the early stages of the race, like we had in the P2 and GT classes.
Yeah, I think the final fireworks will be the GT pit stops, which are due in around 7 minutes or so, maybe even earlier. And after that we will have the clearer picture of how this race is going to pan out, as Line is trying to catch Orozco. Orozco finding a slower class GT through the S's there, and this gives Line the chance to close the gap a bit.
Yeah, just watching Alexei the moment, pace at the moment, it looks like he could be.
Car stopped there, by the way.
Oh, I was just about, yeah, I just seen it. I just noticed the car had stopped as well. I wonder who's that. There's a look back at a replay to see who stopped. It looks like Marcus Dick. Oh, he spun round, or he half spun it. Just lost the rear end on the braking.
Very nice of him to move out of the way, instead of, you know, getting back on the racing line like some drivers do.
As we look back up in the P1 field as well, looking at this battle. Ooh, a GT car is headed to the pits in front of a P2 car.
Yes, those were Kovalik, Lauritsen, and now Marcus Deck is in. So the GT pit stops have officially begun. I would say also Lawrence de Rijk is in.
As we just look at at the moment, it's currently sitting in P. Ricardo's going to Murray's because Alexei Carlo Ashubi are right behind him, and I think I'm not sure what's happened to Ricardo. Maybe his tyres have dropped off, or maybe just struggling with the pace a little bit, or maybe even worse. I'm not sure if true, but even worse, he might be having to fuel save.
It might be possible. Look at how much they can run wide there. Always, that is not an off track, by the way, so they can really run wide. LMP2 field. Karl Jansson, your leader still. 2.2 seconds over Teemu Toika. Last lap was 35.1, so Toika gained 1 second over Jansson. Of course, traffic is going to play a part in this lap time, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Jan Schwitter is in third. Ugo Lotti is in from the lead in GT. Brian Lockwood staying out, as I think that is Ashley Owen going by, if I'm not mistaken. Also Aldo Massa is in, Jackie Lotterman is in, Fabian Klockner.
Absolutely. Yep, as well. Klockner's in the pits. PJ Klessens is heading for the pits as well. As we look at Ugo Lotti leaving the pits as well, he should be. Yep, he comes back out in second place. And just look at, Jackie Lotterman's in the pits, Klockner's in the pits, Klessens in the pits. So yeah, it looks like most of the drivers from what I can see are just deciding to make their final pit stop. I mean, make their pit stop in the closing stages of this race.
Yes, Lockwood will be in, and I think that will promote Ugolotti back to the race lead, back to Riccardo Orozco, because you can't get Line off of his back. This is the battle for P3 in the LMP1 field, so the final podium spot is at stake. Orozco still having some connection issues. You can see disappeared briefly there.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought it was just me, but he keeps blinking in and out sometimes. So I don't. Yeah, as you say, Marco, he's possibly having connection issues. Which is maybe allowing Alexei and also Carlo behind him to catch up a little bit. As Brian Lockwood heads to the pits from the lead, which will promote Matteo Ugolotti back into the lead, and I think should promote Florian Denard back into second place.
I think so. Here comes Ugolotti back in the race lead. Lockwood is coming out of his pit stall. Where is Denard on the start position? He should get P2 quite easily, so Lockwood will slot into P3 in front of Aldo Massa, who is just coming around turn 1. So Lockwood will get third place out after the pit sequence. And let's go back to this battle here for P3 in the LMP1 field then.
Absolutely. As we look at Alexei at the moment, Alexei is catching Ricardo, but behind Alexei, Carlos Schuby is catching him as well. So yeah, it's a kind of Alexei's catching Ricardo, but Carlo is also catching Alexei as well. So it's kind of it's a game of give and take. Look back through the field, the GT field as well. We're on board with Fabian Klockner, also in front, just in front of Fabian, as Dennis Neidhart. So yeah, got a battle going on for P6 in the GT class, and I think it's as you mentioned a few moments ago, Marco. It's all starting to kick off again.
Yes, now everyone has done their pit stop, so all bets are off. If you want to get that position, you have to do it on the track. Klockner seems to have good pace, even though you see sliding around. That's I've noticed that the BMW really doesn't like the bumps, and there are a couple of them here at Silverstone, especially when you come out of the two chicanes towards the end of the lap. So you have to be careful on the throttle when you maybe think you can push hard.
I've not had the chance to test the beat. Oh, is someone's having issues? That was Marcel Joachim having issues. Just looking at the replay to see what happened to him. Yeah, it looks like P1's up there. Oh, he just lost under braking or on corner entry, and he just lost the rear end.
Yeah, just as several cars were coming from behind, but he was able to move out of the way, so to speak. What you were saying about the BMW?
Yeah, the BMW. I've not bought the car myself yet, but I've heard the people going on about it, and I was just thinking, Marco, have you got it? And if so, what's it like from your point of view, with handling wise and just handling wise? Is it a great car, or is it a difficult car to get on top of?
I really like it because it reminds me of a GT version of the Mercedes AMG GT3, which is my favorite GT3. I like cars with engine up front. It's a very stable car, I give it that. Like I said, the bumps, especially at Silverstone, doesn't like them very much. But I would say, from my very, very limited experience and all around terrible driving skill, I'd say it's all around a very stable car, as Klockner gets passed by one of the LMP1s there. So if you like the Mercedes and you want to buy a GT, that might be a good choice.
Yeah, I've not had the chance to get the BMW myself, but yeah, from my experience in the GT cars and iRacing, I would probably have to say my favourite GT car at the moment is the Ferrari 488, and the GT3. Like yourself, I would have to say the Mercedes is the best car to go for if you just want to jump in and just do laps and just feel comfortable. As I was about just looking at Fabian Klockner, he was blinking out a little bit.
As Carlo Eusebio goes by, and behind him is Tim Greven there, so he was able to continue after his scary moment, even though I think he hit the barriers just slightly, so maybe aerodynamically wise his car might not be 100%. Back to this battle here.
Yep, looking at the battle for P6 again between the Neidhart and the Klockner in P7. I think this is a battle. It could be going right down to, could be going down right to the last lap possibly. Marco is, yeah, it seems to be just watching the BMW.
Oh! That's as close as you can get, I'd say.
Well, let's just say I had a squeaky bum when I seen that.
It has a very, very menacing looking front end, the BMW, especially with the lights turned on like this, you see? And the beautiful, you know, base paint, the official BMW livery was, I think, really nice. So, I mean, that's another very nice looking BMW in front, so it would have been a big hit, that one. But still,
Absolutely.
Neidhart is able to keep the position for how long?
Absolutely. As you've got a P2 and a P1 car coming up to lap them. Right now, Timo Hayden pulls out to lap both cars, and the P1 car just flies by. Timo manages to get by both cars into the SS section, and yep, these two guys are still close together. And yeah, I was about to say, Marco, it looks like the BMW seems to be. Oh, they've both BMWs. I forgot that. I forgot that Neidhart had a BMW as well. I kept thinking it was a Porsche. My bad.
Down to
yeah,
fourth gear here, and you know, then it starts, you know, the stop and go section of the track, I'd say, with the two chicanes.
absolutely. I was about to say as well. It looks like the BMW seems to be very good under brakes.
I'd say it's probably the most stable car under braking of them all in the GT class. Even though I don't have the Ford, so I cannot talk about that. He sends it, by the way. Oh, some contact there, but Klockner gets the position. So brave move there. Some contact, but I think that was perfectly okay. Klockner gets past Neidhart up to P6.
Yep, it was a good move. A bit of a bumper and rubbing, but excuse me. Neidhart managed to get the move done, or was it Klockner? Sorry, managed to get the move done. So yeah, good move as we ride on board with Tim Grevin, and just in front of him is Carlo Asciube. So yeah, it looks like Tim's managed to put on a bit of a comeback drive, Marco.
Yes, he definitely is doing that. Now some traffic once again for him, but he seems to have the pace. Let's see, last lap 27.7, 27.8 for no, sorry, 28.3, 28.3, identical lap times for Eusebi and Greven last time around, but it seems like Tim has the better pace in this final 3 minutes and change of this race. So I imagine a couple of laps left, maybe 3, considering that the leaders are lapping in the 28s. So we will see when the white flag drops. It seems like Greven has some more pace despite his damage. We don't know how big the damage is, but it seems like he will be able to try and go for a move there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, considering what happened to Greven in the early stages, he's put on a terrific drive to come back through the field and get back up into P6, and he's right behind Carlo Asciube now. And I'm not sure what happened to Carlo. Maybe Carlo's
Oh, Alexi Line is off.
Yeah.
Massive slowdown, I think, and he will lose 4th position. 2 positions from both Eusebi and Greven, I think, will get past him. He is defending.
Yeah. There's got to be a slowdown.
I would be very surprised if it wasn't, because he cut half of the track there, but he's still defending hard, creating some chaos. Maybe he's trying to serve the slowdown and slow down the other drivers as well.
Alexi's still defending. Yeah, I'll be very surprised if he never got a slowdown for that big off on the grass, because that was miles away from the track.
So I'd say this gives Orozco the certainty of finishing in 3rd place, as I think we have this lap and one more, the one that is about to start, and one more to be precise. I want to go to a replay of that, but I think we should better stick to this action here, as P4, 5 and 6 are all together after 58 minutes of racing. In the other classes, all is more or less settled. Neidhart and Klockner are still battling. And in the P2 class, Toika. Well, Toika is 1 second and a change back from Jansson. So nice battle here as well.
Yeah, I have to say, Timo's actually managed to close the gap down on Janssen a little bit, because I doubt Janssen's in fuel saving mode. Maybe I think Janssen's just being held up by traffic a little bit, so it's cost him a little bit of time. But Janssen's only got one more lap to go, I think, or this lap and one more.
Yeah, white flag is in the air. He will get lapped by Mitchell Moore again, so this will be the final lap as well for Jansson. Where is Ugolotti? Ugolotti will have to do this lap and one more, I think. Meantime, Team Greven gets past. Eusebi got past Greven, but then got the position back because Eusebi went wide. And sorry, the other way around. Ashley Owen losing. Is he out of fuel?
Yeah, I was about to say, is Ashley Owen maybe running on fumes? Because Ashley Owen had second place in the bag, or his second place was secure anyway. But I'm not sure what happened. He might have made a mistake possibly. Just looking at a replay to see what happened. I think he tries to go around the outside of a GT car and
contact.
He got pushed wide a little bit.
So, final lap of the race, final corners from Mitchell Moore, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom Mitchell Moore is coming around the final few corners, and it's been a fantastic race. It's a fantastic race by Tom. He's not had any trouble. He's kept out of trouble. He's kept his head, and kept out of trouble. And coming around the final corner onto the home straight, he's going to take the win in this race. And absolutely fantastic drive by Tom Mitchell Moore. As we look back at Ricardo Roscoe in second place, Ashley Owen is not too far behind, and I think Ricardo just has to get fit round his final few corners, and he'll have second place in the bag. And been a pretty good drive by Ricardo. Also a good drive by Ashley as well, apart from that mistake. But yep, these two guys are going to come across the line and finish in second and third place to round out the top three in the LMP1 class.
Carl Jansson wins in the LMP2 class, and I think we are just waiting for the top 4 guys in GTE to finish the race.
Absolutely. We're just looking at Matteo Ugolotti, and fantastic drive by Matteo. He's not had anyone trouble on him in the GTE class. He's basically just managed to pull away and just keep out of trouble as well. And from what I can see, Marco, anyway, he's not had anyone trouble on him from what I've seen.
And he's already flashing his lights. And winning the GT class in style, Matteo Ugolotti wins in front of Florian Denard. Brian Lockwood will finish in third.
As Lockwood comes across the line, then rounds out the top 3 in the GT class. And just waiting for the rest of the cars to come across the line. Massa crosses the line in 4th. And, excuse me, from what I can see, it looks like, once everyone crosses the line, we'll take you through the I'll say it again, get my words out right. Take you through the results.
So who were your 3 picks? Because I got 2 right and 1 wrong. I got it wrong in the LMP1 because I said Owen and it was Mitchell Moore. Who were your 3 picks?
I think my 3 picks, from what I remember, was Ashley Owen in P1. I got that wrong. LMP2 was Carl Janssen. I got that right. GTE was
Lotterman.
Lotterman. But yeah, that went downhill as well.
Here we go then with the results, starting Ryan with the LMP1 field.
Yeah, absolutely. As the results are up on your screen right now. So yeah, taking the one in the LMP1 class is Tom Mitchell Moore for P1. Second place is Ricardo Orozco. Third place is Ashley Owen. Fourth place is Alexei Laine. Fifth place is Carlo Asciubi. Sixth place with a great recovery drive was Tim Greven. 7th place is Nicholas Snyder. 8th place is Anton Kuzen. 9th place is Fabian Van Doren. 10th place is Mark Harrison. And the last two cars in the class did not finish the race, which were Fraser Williamson and Dylan Mann.
I don't get why Fraser Williamson keeps getting put by the overlay in the LMP1 field, despite me putting many times over that he's an LMP2 driver, but he always drives two cars, so apparently, according to our software. But no, he was in the LMP2 field today, and he was very unlucky. You can see finishing in the bottom of the field together with Tyler Ervias. Carl Jansson won that group, in front of Teemu Toika and Jan Schwitter. Johan Hart in 4th, Matthias Magnusson in 5th, and Gabriel Roos, Timo Eiden, like I said, the two retirees, Ervias and Williamson. And finally, the GT field won by Matteo Golotti over Florian Denard, Brian Lockwood and Aldo Massa. Jackie Lotterman, Dennis Neidert, Fabian Klockner, Alexander Lauritsen, PJ Claessens, Marcus Deck, Lorenz de Rijk, Pavel Kovalik, Andy Pers, Sebastian Villa, Marcel Jochheim, Milal Arnocci, Kyle Dunlop, Alexander Smolier, who sadly has been hit left and right, and last but not least, sadly, 22 laps down, Timo Gorlich, who can at least be, a little bit of consolation for him, one of the most spectacular and weird crashes I've seen in quite a while. And we have Ryan, we have Brian Lockwood for us, ready for an interview. Take it away.
Yeah, I have to say, Brian, that was a pretty good drive by you tonight in the GT class. How was it from your point of view?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I had some trouble at the beginning. I started third. I was fighting for second through the first few corners, but made a mistake, went wide a little bit, so fell back to fourth, then had some contact, and I think that damage hurt me throughout the rest of the race just a little bit. But it was my first time in the Porsche, just getting a feel for it, hoping to be competitive, but I'll take a third after all that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a fantastic drive by you, and yeah, from what I could see, it looked like it was a pretty much a trouble-free race for what I've seen anyway. So, yeah, how are you finding these strength of field races and also the GTE cars in particular?
Yeah, well, I'm loving the strength of field races. Unfortunately, this one wasn't super high. But I was a Skippy driver for a long time. Last season I did the F3s, so having strength of fields of 4,000, 4,500, all that really regularly, that's something I've never experienced, and I'll tell you what, it's a lot of fun.
Good to hear. And just before you go, is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to? Any team sponsors, friends, family, or anything like that?
Yeah, shout out to my team, Racecraft Engineering, and our partner team, the Racing Network. That's whose livery I was using today. Since we don't have a livery of our own for this car, and I'm hopping between different cars, TRN has kindly let me use their liveries for a couple races, so thanks to them.
Good to hear. Well, thanks for joining us in the booth, Brian, and we look forward to seeing you on track next week. I think. Are you planning to race next week?
Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to make it next week, but I'll be here in 2 weeks.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for joining us, Brian, and we'll see you next time whenever that'll be.
Thanks, Ryan.
That was Brian Lockwood joining us in the booth, and Marco. Is there anyone else that was in there? And look, I'll say it again. Waiting for an interview.
No, a lot of shy drivers tonight, but we can go through next round, which will be a Suzuka next week. And last week I went on and on about the time change that was going to occur in my mind last Sunday, but it's this Sunday that we have the time change. So for a lot of people, the race will start 1 hour later than usual, of course, next week, but we will keep the 19 GMT time slot. But for some of us, me, you, Ryan, for example, that will mean a 2-hour switch. The race will start 2 hours, 1 hour later than usual. It will be at 21 GMT in mainland Europe, 20 GMT. 21 local time in mainland Europe and 20 local time in the UK. So just keep that in mind, but that was the same in the past, so we won't switch away from the 19 GMT time slot. Another thing that's important, I'd say, if you want to have more racing today, you can switch right now. Well, not switch, but just change to the World F3 stream, which is about to start just as we speak. And then tomorrow we have another nice double header here on Apex Racing TV. We will have the Dynamics Sim Racers World GT Championship, and we will have the media day for BSRTC, who is back. And then quite end of the week, and we will be back on Monday with the usual World GT. We will have the MX5 Rookie Series, Amateur Series, and Rick Potek at night. And then on Tuesday we will start again, of course, with the Oceanic Strength of Field race for the IMSA Series in the morning on Tuesday. In the evening we will have the MX5 BSR Pro Series, and then back on Wednesday with the Le Mans Series and World F3 Ryan. So a lot to look forward to, but I think that for tonight this will be it.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say it's been a privilege commentating alongside you for this series again, Marco, and thanks for having me as well. I know Joseph couldn't make it because of college commitments, I believe. So yeah, thanks for asking me to step in as always, and I look forward to doing more of the same whenever that will be. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, and as per usual, for Ryan Walker and Marco Verbanera, from everyone here at Apex Racing TV, I wish you a good night and happy racing.